असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। शांति। शांति। शांति।
Om Shanti Vatsalji.
Om Shanti.
It's really nice to have you finally on this platform. We've waited for this opportunity.
It's my pleasure.
Finally, the day has arrived. It feels so nice to be able to speak with you, and really looking forward to get a lot of useful insights based on your experiences, Vatsalji. So thank you once again for sparing
So
your time. And let us begin. Maybe if you can give a bit of introduction for our viewers today about yourself and how you came on this path and
definitely.
how you met Guruji, touching upon your first initial experiences with Guruji.
So before I start, I would first like to congratulate KMG Connect team. Your team is doing a very good work of bringing all the KMGN together. We know each other, but we have not come together by a connection of a heart. So that is what you are installing in us. So I'm very thankful to you. And for you, there is something. KMG Connect जोड़े है दिल से दिल को, गुरु भक्ति का प्रसाद बांटे हैं हम सबको, गुरु ज्ञान के अनुसरण करने की प्रेरणा और जीवन के संघर्ष में मुस्कुराने की तमन्ना, हर गुणों से परे जाने की चेष्टा और जीवन मुक्त होने की दृढ़ संभावना, हजारों सूरज से प्रकाशित यह पूर्ण भ्रम बनने की चाह जगाए हम सबको, केएमजी कनेक्ट जोड़े है दिल से दिल को, केएमजी कनेक्ट जोड़े है दिल से दिल को.
So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That is amazing. We should put some music around it.
But you're doing really a good work. I'm honestly very happy with the work.
Guruji's mercy and grace. I'm just a channel. That's all.
So coming to your question, I think before we start with our question, we will also do one invocation and gratitude towards our Guru.
Sure.
अखंड मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम शांति। ओम नमः शिवाय। So Advait, your first question always brings smile on people's face, because then they go through their journey of their togetherness with Guruji. So I will tell you my story. My meeting with Guruji was like a setup, perfect setup, you can say. I had just started my consultation at one polyclinic where I used to go 9 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning. And Guruji was visiting the same polyclinic on few days between 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So when Guruji leaves the room, I used to enter the same cabin. So initially I was not knowing anything about him, neither I had any knowledge of spirituality, and I was actually not interested also. So whenever we used to cross, I used to look at him, and he used to have a very glowing face with bright eyes, and there used to be a thin layer of liquid fluid which rested on his eyelashes, and this fluid used to sparkle all the time, and there was a glow on his face. So every time he used to come out, I used to think in my mind, who are you? But I had no courage to ask him. So actually, you can say that, my spiritual journey has started with the question, who are you, rather than who am I? So I asked once receptionist that who is this man? She told me he's a healer. I asked him, what does he do? She said, he will see your hand, and then he will give some prediction, and then he will tell you what to do, and he will give some healing to you. So at that time, the most important thing in my life was to become rich. So I thought he will see my hand and tell me when I'm going to become rich. So I went to him one day and I told him, sir, will you also see my hand? So he was sitting on the chair and I just walked in towards him. He took my hand. He didn't even look at me. And he pressed my hand 2-3 times without looking at me. He's telling, you are having a stomach cancer. And I was shocked because I was young, I was a good gymmer, and I was very good in my health. So I said, sure. He said, yeah, you've got very heavy acidity also. I said, are you sure? I have no symptoms. Then he looked at me and he said, but it's in your aura. If you don't take care of it now, then you will have trouble in the future. So then I was a little bit concerned about myself. He told me to do Jal Nidhi at that time. He gave juice, he told me about juice therapy. And then he said, you go. So I went home, I started doing Jal Nidhi. And I started realizing after 2-3 days that there is a pain in my Agya Chakra area. That time I was not knowing it's Agya Chakra also, but I told him that, I am getting pain here. He said, yeah, it's very good. Your chakra is opening up. Then I was very happy. I said, something is happening. So he told me that you come for a healing and I will do a healing. So he gave me a first healing. In the same cabin, there was a book of Gita, and every day I used to read because there was no patient in the few months of our practice. And I never used to understand any of the things written in Gita at that time. So one day I asked him that, I'm not able to follow this book. It is such an important book. He said that you don't have to follow it right now. You first read autobiography of Yogi. So I went and I purchased that book and I started reading. And that book had so much miracle stories. So during this time, my second healing came. So he told me, come on this date and this time for a second healing. One day, it so happened that I came instead of 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock to the clinic. And I opened the door and Guruji was standing in front of the door looking at me. So I told him that, why did you come today? It's not your day. And I don't know why I came early today. So he told me, Arey, I only call you. So I was very surprised that how can a person put that thought into my mind and I start following that thought. So that was not my healing day, but he had some other things to do on that particular day. So he said, "You, I will do healing for you today only, so that I can do other work later on." So I said, "Okay, fine." But that time I realized that someone can actually put a thought into your mind. So I was actually then more happy because I was reading autobiography of Yogi with so much of chamatkar inside. I said, "Okay, chamatkars are happening with me also." So after that, I told him that, Guruji, I want to get initiated by you. So he said, it's good. You should come after 10 years from now. I said, why? He said, you have lot of desires. So like a pakka Gujarati, I told him, see, after 10 years also, you have to give me initiation. Now also you have to give initiation. So you give me now so that you are free from your work and at least I will do something in my life. So he smiled at me and he said, okay, you come on this particular day for initiation. I will make you my disciple and you get one coconut. I said, fine, I'll get. So with coconut, I went to his house. He made me sit in the living area, which has a balcony. So he said, you sit on the asana and you relax. So when I was relaxing, I was thinking, I have come for initiation, but I have not got any Guru Dakshina. Because that time I was not carrying enough money also. So he came to me after some time and he said, you give me whatever you want to give. But that was not an answer because I wanted a particular figure. So he said, you give me 501 rupees. So I said, okay. So the second thing what I noticed that he was actually in tune with my mind at that particular moment of time. And he wanted it to be in a perfect state of relaxation without a single thought, however stupid thought it can be. So after that, he gave me initiation. And after the initiation, I would say I followed it very regularly for 2, 3 months. And there has been a lot of change which has happened in this 2, 3 months time. So the first change which happened is that I was more aware of myself. Second thing which happened was I got almost for 3 months boils on my body, which used to form into pus and erupt. So when I asked him what is this happening, he said no antibiotics will work for it. Your karma is going out this way. So you allow it to pass. So for 3 months, there has been constant boils coming on my body. So during this time, I also used to get intuitions like if there are 20 patients going to come for my OPD, I will know that these 3, 4 are definitely coming and those people will always turn up. And if the phone used to come, before the phone bell rings, I used to know that the bell is going to ring and someone is going to call me right now. And actually, it used to happen in that way. And those times we didn't have that mobile alarms. So we used to have those set alarms. So 4 o'clock, even without putting the alarms, the alarm used to ring. So this actually happened in the initial few months of the practice. After that, I think for almost 10 years, I went to him only when I had some problem. So even when I went there, he said, are you following it? I've told you. I said, I am following it, whatever I can. So he said, okay, if you can't have pineapple juice, you have Tropicana juice. It's okay for you. I'm giving you that discount. Then secondly, if you have no time for meditation, don't worry. When you're walking, you just think that I'm not breathing from my lungs, I'm breathing from my chakras. And he said, you don't have to even sit for meditation. So I said, that is a perfect thing for me because I had, I was having lack of time at that time. He also told me one very nice thing. He said that now, since you are initiated, you are actually going to heal your surrounding area. And whenever you require energy, there will be a source of energy which will come and replenish your energy. So then he gave me an example of antenna. He said there will be like an antenna which will give you energy to you, and then you will be able to distribute amongst the people. So I first time in my life I felt that I am not just this body. I am little more than what I think I am. So that first seed of that thing, that I'm little more than what I am. I can be little better in this life. I can do something much more than what I think I can do. That actually come from that small things which he has taught me. During these 10 years, I actually told you that I was just visiting him only when I required to see him, because I was not so much, into spirituality at that time. But during that time also, whenever there is Guru Purnima, and I have forgotten it, but he will call me up and say that today is Guru Purnima, I'm giving you my blessing and love. If he's not called me, he will message me, today is Guru Purnima, I'm sending you blessing and love to you. And that was amazing. That was amazing because no one in the world can ever love me that way. That you have forgotten, but this is what I have to give you, so accept it. And I think that actually kept me always connected to him. Whatever happens, I knew that he will be there for me. So when I became 40 years, 10 years, that desire period was over. And I was in full health and happiness and everything. And one day I was coming from my clinic back to home walking. It was a raining day, drizzling little bit, but I didn't open my umbrella. My umbrella was also hanging next to me. And I was walking, happily singing and all. And suddenly a thought came into my mind that you are so empty within. So I looked inwards and I actually felt for a second that I'm actually empty within. But I thought this is some stupid, ignorant thought which has come into my mind. I'm so happy. Why should I think like this? So I just ignored that thought. One more day passed, and after that, once more day, same spot, same thought came again. So that was very alarming. I said something wrong is going to happen to me. So I immediately went to Guruji. He said, you are fine. You don't have to do anything. You take only pineapple juice. But that day he said, you wait outside in my living room for some time. So I said, okay, I'll wait there. So when I was waiting, Guruma came. She said that, you have to get up at 4 o'clock and do meditation. I said, I can't get up because I sleep at odd hours and it is not possible. So she said, there are so many people in Hyderabad who gets up at 4 o'clock. So you should try. They put an alarm and they get up. Then I thought, if people of Hyderabad can do it, why can't I do it? So then onwards, I have been actually regular. I used to get up on time, do things, and that was good. After that, KMG group started. So once the group started, I think the interaction with him became more and more. So then the journey is still till today. I think you know everything about it later on.
Vassalji, this is amazing. Yeah, I mean,
Filmy it is.
no, it is very deep, right? I mean, how the guru keeps
Yes.
an eye on his
Not
or her
only our
disciples.
mind also.
They don't let him or her wander. Beautiful, beautiful. So, Vatsalji, since you've spoken or you've chosen the topic of Kundalini Yoga as the subject of our discussion today, very curious to understand, amidst the wide array of topics and choices given to you, why you chose this particular topic.
First of all, I think our group is Kundalini meditation group. So what has connected us is Guruji and his technique, and we all are connected with him very well. But as regard technique correction, I think connection, I think we need to have more of interaction so that our learning from each other increases. And I think that will have more insight into the topic itself, that we will understand it more clearly.
So next question. There are so many types of yoga today, right? Various kinds and types. What is so special about Kundalini yoga that you find that attraction, or you're pulled towards Kundalini yoga?
There are two ways of looking at it. Before speaking about Kundalini Yoga, at right time, a right guru comes with a right technique to your life. So the technique was already destined that I have to, in this birth, do this sadhana. So it was not our choice. It is nature's choice on us. So it has come as nature's or divine mother's choice on us. That is first thing. Second thing, if we see Kundalini meditation yoga, it is for the present generation, I think it is more scientific. It has got three words which are key words. One is Kundalini, second is meditation, and yoga. Yoga means union with the divine. Meditation means to meditate upon the energy, which is the subtle body of ours. If we see the subtle body of ours, it has got chakras, it has got nadis. So every chakra is representing an element. So there are Panchatattva element which is represented in each chakras. One with Muladhara earth chakra, similarly Swadhisthana water chakra, Manipura fire chakra, then Anahata air, and Vishuddhi if we go, then it is the space. So every chakra has each element, and out of this element we are born. So chakra is representing in a subtle way our body also, because we are made out of this tattva. Secondly, if you see chakra, every chakra has got represented by a particular emotion. Emotion is through the mind. So this chakra is also a subtle form of mind. And both these chakras and nadis, they are connected to the universe outside, which is having a cosmic universal force. So there's a connection between us and the whole universe also. As far as nadis are concerned, Ida Pingla, we know they are required for our day-to-day activity. Sushumna Nadi is actually representing our past life karma blockage. So if you see Kundalini meditation yoga, it has body, it has got mind, it has got past karma to be cleared. And then once you start doing that, there can be activation of Kundalini. What is Kundalini? Kundalini is the primordial energy, which is cosmic force of creation, full of wisdom, full of purity, and full of love. So when Kundalini, or we can say Shakti, or we can say Divine Mother, she forms our structure. And once her work of our formation is over, because she's an infinite energy, she will, lot of energy is left behind. So that is, remaining in the dormant form in our body. So when we activate that energy and bring it from Muladhara to Sahasrara, there will be an union of Shiva and Shakti. So even for activation of Kundalini, we have to have a power of Shiva to hold it. So we'll have to actually make our body and mind as pure as Shiva. So that's why I feel it is more of a complete yoga as such. Compared to other yogas, if you see Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and even Kundalini Yoga, they have all got same three important components. The first component is in everything, purity of body. The second important component is purity of mind. And third important component is love for the divine. So even if you see Karma Yoga, you are going to do karma according to dharma. For doing karma, what is required is a healthy body. And to understand dharma, what is required is purity of mind. In Bhakti Yoga, we are going to do Seva Aradhana of Ishwar. So what is required is a body in a good health to do Seva of God and purity of mind so that you can relate to the God. In Jnana Yoga also, we are actually deriving purity of mind, and to have a purity of mind, because body and mind is so interlocked, you should have purity of body. Then only you can have neti neti and you can go forward. Because even if I say that I am not the body, if my body is paining, that question will have no relevance in the life. So all the yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, they all are same. In fact, I feel that they are different stations or starting point of the journey, and they go at the same final destination. And during this journey, there is interchanging of tracks. A karma yogi will become bhakta yogi, jnana yogi, and he will go through Kundalini awakening also, for all we know. So all the yogas are almost same. On this, there is a very good doha of Kabir. Kabir says that कबीर कुआ एक है, पानी भरे अनेक. कबीर कुआ एक है, पानी भरे अनेक, बर्तन में ही भेद है, पानी सब में एक. Let us sing for us. कबीर कुआ एक है, पानी भरे अनेक, बर्तन में ही भेद है, पानी सब में एक.
Superb! I'm speechless. That was perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Vatsalji. My next question is, so having taken this path, as you said, nature only chose the right path for us, and for us, it is this particular path. And to an extent, you also answered the question I'm going to ask, but just to be a little more precise and clear, is what can make a seeker progress faster on this path? Because we are all bound by time as a constraint. We've got only limited time. So if it is even possible to beat time and achieve a faster progress.
So first of all, we have to actually remove this time criteria, because speed is not a criteria. I think the journey is criteria, and smooth journey is a criteria. So rather than talking about speed, I think we should think of what can make our journey smooth in this yoga. So the first most important component is presence of a guru. Since we are dealing with an infinite energy, we require a guru who can actually guide us. Second important thing is the aspiration. Most of the time we are driven by excitement, which is actually not an aspiration. So there has to be a continuous aspiration to grow. So that is second very important thing. After the aspiration, what comes is body. So we should be more aware of our body. What am I doing? Whether I'm taking proper rest? What am I eating? So that has to be brought into consideration all the time. Fourth, we should always have a happy state of mind or a positive state of mind. So sometimes, there are a lot of time there is doubts which come into our mind that am I doing enough or will I be able to do it? So self-doubt has to be totally removed. And we should always fill ourselves with hope that yes, I can do it. At least I will give my best shot if I can't do it. So positive state of mind is very important. Then sincerity and hard work. So whatever instructions are given, I think we need to follow it on day-to-day basis regularly. So sometimes we follow it for few days and we forget for few days, and then again we try to follow it for few days. And the last thing is, I think we should just wait with patience for something to happen. And even if nothing happens, you know that something is actually happening which you are not able to pick up right now. So this whole thing, if we have in mind, there will be a smooth progress in this path.
Okay. Any precautions as such to be followed as well? Because we've seen experiences where people sometimes also go mad, and so any precautions?
I think the most important precaution is from the guru's end rather than from Shishya's side, because a guru has to first keep the energy system of the Shishya open for the whole process to start. So if we start with a blocked system or a system which is not perfect, we are always going to come into a state of complication. So in our case, our guru first gives us juice therapy to clean our body. Then he gives us self healing. Then he does healing for us. During that healing, he is actually removing the blocks from your chakras and your nadis as much as possible. And at the same time, he is also keeping a lock at the area of Muladhara chakra, so that activation will only take place when you are ready. So according to Guruji, what he said is that when your all upper chakras are fully vibrating with highest frequency, when your Ida Pingla is working with the maximum stamina, and when your Shushumna is open, that is the only time your upper chakra activation will make the Muladhara open and will break the lock so that the Kundalini will come up. So I think maximum precaution is from the Guru's side. As far as Shishya's side is concerned, most important is sincerity into the practice. Regular, whatever protocols have to be followed, it has to be done. Second important thing is, while doing this practice, I think anything which cause stimulation of the mind in terms of alcohol or drugs, it has to be completely avoided. Third thing, we should not practice too much in the initial days. We should just practice for half an hour, twice or maximum 3 times a day. This is to prevent overheating of our body. So this is important. As far as madness part is concerned, then madness is related to mind. So if someone is initiated when the mind of the person is having lot of emotional imbalance, or if that person is actually a psychiatric patient or is taking drugs for the mental illness, then the chances of medicine always come. But I think from Guru's side, if the passage is clean, then I think there will not be any complication.
And we've also heard of circumstances or incidents where the Kundalini of an individual just rises, right? He's not following any particular path. It just happens. How can you, contextualize and reason on these kind of incidents and situations?
First of all, what we have to understand is rise in Kundalini is a very rare phenomena. So if someone is getting activation of Kundalini just like that, it is very rare thing to happen. It so first thing you have to question whether it is that only or something else which they are not aware of. Second thing is At least I don't think it can happen that way. Only in the cases of avadutas who are born with full enlightenment, it is possible. But I think in normal individuals, they have to work for it.
Okay. Okay. And is Kundalini awakening, Vatsalji, the final goal in the journey of a seeker towards enlightenment?
Actually, the final goal should be meeting the divine. That should be the final goal, because all other things are techniques or mechanism. What you want is the union with the divine. So even if there is no activation of Kundalini, but if there is love and unity with the divine, I think your work is done.
That's a beautiful answer, worth reflecting. Why does it then happen? You know, some individuals, they really put on their 100%, or they give it a sincere try. They spend their entire lifetime, but still things don't move in the spiritual realm. Why could these things be happening for them?
For this, there is a very good doha of Kabir.
Sure.
It says that धीरे धीरे रे मना धीरे सब कुछ होए माली सींचे सौ घड़ा रुत आवे फल होए. What is important is not the final result. What is important is the journey. How much you can evolve as a person, how much mind can get purified, what all things you can see with your higher consciousness, which you were otherwise missing. I think that is more rewarding and more appealing for me. The final goal, if it happens, it happens. But other things which comes on the way, I think it is much more delicious than the, it helps you to keep on going on the path.
That's you've spoken very deeply, Vatsalji. I
अच्छा,
think.
ये वाला भी गाते हैं कबीर का दुआ.
Please. I was about to say. Please go ahead.
धीरे धीरे रे मना धीरे सब कुछ होए माली सींचे सो घड़ा हरे रुत आवे फल होए. It is so simple, so nice, and so happy to read this Kabir ka dua, because in a simple words he has told such important things in life.
Beautiful, Vatsalji, amazing. See, sometimes what happens is on this path, there are a lot of myths or there are a lot of misconceptions also. Is Kundalini Yoga a path also that householders can take equally effectively? Because you see on the internet so many false things, right? So, do you believe, like, for example, physical intimacy, is that a barrier towards achieving Kundalini Yoga?
No, it's not a barrier. According to Guruji, the physical union of two people is actually for the happiness, and happiness keeps on allowing yourself to move forward in your life. So I think sex cannot be a barrier into this path, and I think this path is for everyone, because for the present generation, which has got more scientific mind, the emotional mind of ours is not fully pure at this present moment of time. So Kundalini meditation yoga is actually the way in which you can go beyond mind to your subtle self and try to make your mind and body more and more purified. So I think for householder also, this is a very good part.
what would you be advising people who are new on this path? Since you mentioned you initially got initiated about more than 10 years back, and it took almost 10 years. So if somebody is taking a lesson from that, what would you advise?
that मेरे जैसा पागलपन मत करना, टेक्निक मिली है तो रोज करना.
And Vatsalji, little more personal but important question. What has been your own personal experiences on this path? And the reason I ask this is, at least for me, you're a bit of an enigma. See, in all our retreats, you are on the forefront of planning everything to the T. You plan out the agenda, you kind of execute it, you are in charge, right? But still, there's hardly anything you speak about yourself. So many experiences people share. You hardly share anything.
I
And
think
that has kind of uh, piqued my own curiosity. And I'm sure the viewers as well. Who's the man behind the enigma? What would that be, Vatsalji? Can we hear it?
I think before sharing an experience, I would say that if I'm a seed and if I decide to germinate and become a tree, just because I decide that as a seed, the nature provides me with whatever which is required. So a nature will give me water, soil, sunlight, air, everything, so that I can become a future tree. When I become a tree, if I decide to grow tall towards the direction of the sun, nature will guide me, give me more nutrition so that I can become tall, I can go towards the sun. So, whatever is happening, it is actually coming to all of us as a grace of divine. Meeting a guru itself is also a grace of the divine in this whole process. So, coming back to the experience, it is the same experience when I was a seed, I was very small. And now, doing this yoga, I have started becoming a tree. I've started growing in the direction of the sunlight. So, what do I get today after doing this? I get the freedom of expansion. How much ever I want to expand, I can expand because the nature is always going to be supporting. It is only my decision. So, as far as the personal experience is concerned, in the body, normally a person will feel his physical body. But now, once you start with the yoga, it is with everyone, not just with me. You will actually feel that you have energy within this body, and this energy is getting emanated from your palms, from your body, from your soul. So basically, you are an energy unit and you are not just a physical body. Second thing, as far as your mind is concerned, your mind is not just a logical mind which can tackle things of the world, but the mind is the mind which is actually going and making you understand something which is much more than the normal requirement of the day to day activity. Your intuition power will grow. You will have more peace. You will have more affection, peace, and feeling of gratitude towards the world also. I think this is what is my experience. So this is what I've experienced.
Very nice. Vatsalji, I have a question. So, when one progresses on this path and one, as you said, grows on from being a seed to a sapling, then to a plant, and then to a tree, right? How does one help, or how does one determine who would be the right person to receive these blessings, whom to heal, whom to help, whom to spend time with? Because that sometimes can lead to an individual taking to wrong decisions in life and can distract him from the goal. So, what would be your
Well,
2 cents on this?
first thing what you asked me is that whom to heal. So the answer to that is actually directly or indirectly you are healing your surrounding, which is your identity. Because once you are into the path, you are indirectly become a healer yourself. So unconsciously you are actually healing when you are walking, when you are doing all your activities. Consciously, when you have to heal, I would first recommend that we should heal our family members or members whom we know who are in the need, because the first people to heal is them. Once you started healing them well, then your second approach should be people who are known to you in your building, in your office, whom you know and who really need your help. And later on, I think you will have, once you progress further, I think you will have an intuitive ability of whom to heal, whom to not to heal. Second thing you asked me was which company to keep. As far as company keeping is concerned, I think we all are united in a group. So we have got the best company whatsoever, which is Kundalini Meditation Group. And with your satsang, it is becoming more better.
So, Vatsalji, how's your day in the life, right? Because you've come a long way and you are a tree now. So, how do you live your day? How's your day like?
The day starts in the morning with meditation. I give at least 1 to 1.5 hours every day. So meditation followed by mantra jap, followed by our PHP, followed by whatever has been told to us. After doing the breathing exercise, I give some time on each chakra to be followed, probably a minute or two, in which you can just concentrate on each chakra. Morning, one time I do Beej Mantra Japa of the chakra. So this finishes the morning part. After that, I work. In the afternoon, once I have my meal, I have some time. So during that time, most of the time I listen to YouTube videos and all. So that keeps you actually on the path, frankly speaking, because otherwise the mind has lot of deviation and it can go anywhere. So the best thing is you can listen to something. So I have free afternoon time, so I normally listen that. Afternoon again I work from 3 to 5, and after 5 till 7, 7:30 I again do the same routine again as I've followed in the morning. In evening time, now I've started doing Gayatri Mantra Japa. 11 times I do just to cool my body. And then again I work for some time, and in the night I sleep early. So after food, I think by 8:39 I just go to bed.
Thank you, Vatsalji. I'm short of words, but I must say uh, there's so much that you shared with us on this topic. One doesn't need to read any book on Kundalini Yoga. They can just come right on this interview. There's amazing insights that you shared. Really thankful to you for sharing that.
So
Any
before,
message? Sorry. Go ahead. You're saying something.
I think before we end, there are two things which we should have, which is very entertaining. That
Please.
is, recently only I came across this Kabir ka doha. There's a famous question, who am I? So Kabir answers in this way that जात हमारी आत्मा जात हमारी आत्मा प्राण हमारा नाम अलख हमारा इष्ट है गगन हमारा ग्राम. Gagan is the sky element, and all the Panchabhuta is actually from the sky element. So you are made up of a sky element. In this, prana is flowing. You're alive because of prana. That is your name. From where does this prana come? From the Atma. Just because of Atma is there, the prana could stay there. So Atma is my caste. And अलग हमारा इष्ट है, मतलब कि the divine is my beloved. So that is one very nice thing. And the last thing is for the Guruji. बिन सत गुरु के आपनो नहीं कोई, आपनो नहीं कोई, जो यह राह दिखावे, जो यह राह दिखावे। कहत कबीरा सुनो भाई साधो, सुनो भाई साधो, सपने में प्रीतम आवे, तड़प जिया में लगावे। नैहरवा नैहरवा नैहरवा, नैहरवा हम कान भावे, हम कान भावे। नैहरवा नैहरवा नैहरवा।
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You fulfilled my last wish. I was going to make a request that whether you can sing something for our KMGN. So beautiful. I think this is amazing, Vatsalji. Thank you so much. Uh,
Lot, thank
thank
you
you.
to you. Lots of gratitude to Guruji and lots of love to everyone. If little bit also whatever I have said is of use, I am grateful. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti. Om Namaste.